that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the difference between me and you.
Oh, I actually did, dude. 217 is the very last limit. You can invade 125 with the blue eye orb. So I invaded a lot with a 217 build.
Aha!
Hornet Kumo Havelmon, you would love it. Crystal Kumo, obviously.
No.
That was beautiful. You know, I used to get a lot of hate mail.
Yo.
Like, yeah, back in Game for Windows Live. I got so much hate mail, dude. I had the best quotes ever. Like, it's better to be a cheater than a backstabber. Love that one. and a whole lot of other quotes like that was the best, man.
That's extremely stupid.
Yeah, I loved it. It was on my page, like on my profile. You could see that quote. It was so good.
Lately, I've been trying Juan's build.
The mid CB?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably, arguably the best build in the game.
Yeah. That it is.
Not so much lately. It's funny how... actually, I'm saving that part because it's a very interesting topic and I want to save it for when you're streaming, if you want to feedback on it.
Yeah, I started streaming.
Okay. So, it's funny how you talked about a stalling meta, right?
Yeah.
Like last time. Well, I thought it was the case, but after I looked back, because I've always like played a lot and then stopped playing and then played a lot and then stopped playing this game. I took big breaks of like either a few months or a full year. That happened too. And whenever I came back, the meta changed drastically, whether it's built or the way people played. How can I put this? Okay, let's do a rundown of how I noticed the meta changing over the years.
Okay.
So I started like really being a tryhard, I'd say 2.5 years ago or something. Yeah. I got the game pretty late, and at first I was really honorable. I refused to backstab. If I would backstab someone, I would send him a message to like say I was sorry, but that's not the point. And then I started tryharding. So we tryhard on PC. We got like a few groups of players.
Okay.
And we're really bad at the game. We think we're good because we're better than most PC players, but we are really bad at the game compared to consoles. We are like 2 years behind console.
Fair enough.
So the meta consists of S-Stock Turtle, that was the best build in the game.
Yeah.
MLGS, and Claymores, and a little bit of CB. That was the meta. And people would just like strafe, fishing for backstabs, like just strafe all the time. There was no pivots, there was no unlocked play, no ghost hits, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just pure strafing.
Yeah, I know that gameplay and I hated it.
Yeah, we liked it. Like, we got really good at it, but we were still like years behind consoles. They would have destroyed us. So we played that. Then I take my probably longest break ever. It was like a year worth of break. Like, I didn't play for a year. And when I come back, I tried to like backstab Lass. He rolls away. He's flipping. I'm with a claymore. He rolls away. I tried to backstab him. I failed, so I just swing, you know. Okay. And he rolled backstabs that swing. And he does it at least one times per match. Every match we're having. And I'm like not understanding. Can you roll backstab that weapon? Do you do it on sight? Or how can you predict it every single time?
Yeah.
And I realized he was baiting my backstabs on purpose and then roll backstabbing my swing. That for console it was nothing new. It had existed for like 2 years, but for PC, for me that hadn't played in a long time, it was completely new. You could bait swings, whiffed swings, and then punish it. That was really completely new to me. That I didn't understand. Then there was a lot of new tech like barrel rolls, builds that evolved. The mid roll was something. Nobody played mid roll before. Like one guy played mid roll, but he wasn't very good with it. So
Yeah.
you see what I mean? Like the game completely changed to me in the way you played it. It was completely different. That was insane. I started to try to master that. It took me quite a bit, but I started doing it then. And it was a lot of fun, like baiting people, because if you commit too much and you try to bait, you're gonna get backstabbed. Or you're gonna get R1'd and you're gonna get... So you need to like bait the backstab like really, really well, accounting for latency, obviously, into the guy like whiffing. And that was a lot of fun. The meta changed a little bit later, and mid-roll started to be really, really dominant. The meta was like Kumo and CB, and it was mid-rolling, and it was really, really strong. People were getting like poised backstabs because Kumo does a lot of backstab damage, and it's hard to roll BS. So baiting whiffs against the Kumo didn't work so well. That's why Kumo became strong.
Yeah.
And then people started to make fast roll builds that had little poise, but that could equip a wolf ring and outtrade a Kumo with a gold tracer. And no mid roll is almost never played. It is played, but almost never. People are all on fast roll builds. So the meta has changed, and that's really recent, by the way. So the meta has changed constantly towards the year, even though we had a very small population. It has changed both when it comes to builds and when it comes to playstyle and tech and like how people play. So the game is like everything but stale to me. That's my counter argument between like against what you said with the game being stale.
No. Okay.
It might not be as fast as some people like. Some people want variety all the time, which is understandable. It can be annoying to fight the same thing all the time. But the game has changed, like both, with the weapons and armor people use and the playstyles. That's very, very interesting, in my opinion. That's why I love this game so much, and that's why I keep coming back to it. You see what I mean?
Yeah. That's the same reason I love it. It can be so much. And yet it isn't at top tier.
Sorry, what?
No,
I just heard top tier.
yeah, you can have so many different strategies in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were talking about the one person. You fucker, let me buy the ring. Maybe I should kill him.
Never
Slumbering? Oh fuck. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Fuck it.
Be right back 1 second, I'm gonna empty my ashtray.
Okay.
Yeah, back.
Yeah, let's change the title. I've changed the stream title. God damn, your keyboard is loud.
Sorry, man. I'll try to
No,
like.
no problem. Or the mic is very sensitive.
It's pretty close to my keyboard. That's probably why.
Okay, I'm back here. Oh yeah, I can see them. What the hell were we talking about?
You started saying like the 1% and then you stopped, I think.
Ah, no. I wanted to give an example. Okay, the micro community. You said 1% of the total Dark Souls player base, and a small part of that it's adapting. A few players from in that community are able to constantly adapt and change playstyles, but most of them don't. They play
That's completely true.
they play how they're comfortable to play.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's not something that. Sorry, man. That's extremely true. Go fight him. Go fight him. I talk to you afterwards because I want you to listen to what I'm saying. It's hard with fighting.
I can listen.
I just wanna like full attention while you fight this guy.
Oh. But I can talk. He's extremely careful. I don't know why. GG, Aimoy. Okay, talk.
So yeah, you were talking about how 1% of the players is following the meta of like
No.
1% at least 1%.
The one.
Very small number of player comes up with creative stuff and like researches, and the rest of the 1% follows them.
Yeah.
That's completely true. That's undeniable. The thing is, I think it's gonna happen in most games. I don't see any
by the
game.
way, Crame, I can stay here and block the invader spot. I'm not interested in fighting.
Okay, I mean you can block if you want, but I think other people are invading. We're like 5 people right now here.
Okay.
So you don't. You can.
Okay. I'll fight him.
Okay. I'd rather have you fight if you stay there, so people don't wait. Just need to create dry fingers thanks to cheat engine.
Okay, I fought him. Man, this build is extremely annoying. I get that. Juan got me pretty salty with that.
Yeah, that was fun, by the way, that you just fought. BK Nick 62, that's him.
Don't trade with me, man. That was Aimoy again.
Yep, that was Akabar.
Oh, you meant this build. Okay.
Yeah, that's Stain, his great sides.
No. Nice one. I wonder if I can... No! I wonder if I can parry his side.
It's very high latency, you probably cannot. Good duel.
Ah! I should have used Black Flame, because I had it.
Yeah, he has 41 points, so he can go through one Great Combustion.
Grey Combustion, yes, but not Black Flame.
Yeah, but not Black Flame, exactly.
But I wasn't focusing that much.
So yeah, I think in any game, there is a very few percentage of players being because there's a difference to be made between being creative and efficient. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You can be creative,
it's
like
extremely hard to be creative and efficient, and
exactly.
Most people don't even try it because they're aware.
You can use like a demon spear in your left hand, and you can that can be called creative, but your build is still shit. Like
yeah.
So to me, that's not really being creative. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but that's another Dark Souls challenge, isn't it?
It's a challenge, but it's a challenge to be creative and efficient. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I agree that it's not that I agree. It's undeniable that a very few percentage of the players are able to come up with. I'm not in that percentage actually. I follow trends. Are able to come up with efficient and creative builds at the same time.
Okay.
That's I think in any game. In any game, you'll have a very small percentage of the population that will like do the research and do the efforts to theory craft and test less common builds and make them viable. For example, card games, right? Hearthstone. I don't know if you play Hearthstone.
No, I haven't.
Do you know anything about card games in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Magic, for example, I don't know. I didn't pay it.
GG Black Knight. He got one on me.
Okay.
Okay.
So card games, for example. Card games, you always have these very few players that will come up with decks that are new in the meta, that will use them enough to understand if they're viable, and that will fine-tune them until they're perfect, and then 99.9% of the players will go online and
copy that.
Of
course.
That's the same in any game that has building involved, in my opinion. Simply because most people in the world, from what I've seen from my experience, are not creative people. Because it's not their field of, that's not how they work. It's just how people are. That's my opinion. Like, that's undeniable what you're saying. Most people just follow trends. I do. I can't come up with good builds. Whenever I come up with a good build, it's been done before. Or it's just like a variation of a build that's already been made and it doesn't really change it. You see what I mean? So
yeah, fair enough.
I think it's true, but it's normal. See what I mean? Like,
yeah.
People are just not creative. Most people. So that's my opinion on trends. It's just how people work.
That doesn't necessarily means you have to stop trying.
Oh, you blame people on being lazy, right?
I am lazy.
Yeah, so am I. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a critic on people more than it is on the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't criticizing the game. That's why I'm a bit hated. Because I criticize people. That's, well, ad hominem.
someone is mentioning, yeah, one of the trends that got started on PC, for example, it's very true. Zane, that came from console Xbox to PC. You know how I mentioned how when I came back, people were playing mid Kumo and like mid roll builds, and no one was playing it before. That's a very good example of trends. Someone came from console, started playing mid Kumo, and doing extremely well with it. Basically, I think he won every single tourney. That like for a long time he was never defeated in high level play.
Yeah.
And people started playing mid Kumo a lot, like a lot, and it became the most popular build. It's not anymore, but it used to be. For like 1 year, people played only mid Kumo, and yeah, that's a very good example. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I quote right now. A few people did well with it. Then at one point, literally
Oh.
everyone was using it. Yeah, that's.
Ah. Nice one, Zane. And the weapon will kill me. GG,
You
Zane.
see what I mean when he's got a very like aggressive playstyle that goes well with the great side.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really have room to breathe in that match. So yeah, trends are just part of how people work. But the game is really evolving right now at its slow rate. But there's this weapon being used. Like mid roll is going away most of the time. Zen said, I think, that he's not gonna stop using the great scythe until he wins a tourney with it, which really hypes me up.
Well,
And he wants other people to play it because he wants, to see how like a more defensive playstyle would do with it. For example, Lass. Yeah, that game is. I think
yeah,
the game
but
is
that
pretty
means
promising.
Zane is experimenting with that.
Yeah, he is.
He's not afraid to experiment with the great side.
I mean,
And
I think he
that's
played Great Side quite a bit on the console too, so it's not like he just came up with it, right? But
no.
he's the only
I didn't say he invented the play style, but he's willing to experiment. He's willing to play with a weapon he has no real experience with until he gets good at it.
Oh,
And
and you
that's
mean like you would want like some of the underused weapons that are considered bad to be used more until people are sure that they're either good or bad.
no. Uh, the beauty of this game is that, okay, there are some weapons that are completely fucking shit
Oh
for
yeah,
PvP, but
yeah.
most of them can be used successfully.
Not
If
at high level. Not at high level, man. Really not. Um, like even the best player. Yeah, that's something also that I.
Why the fuck am I wearing the Catherine?
I don't know, man. You do you. Get that ring
Thanks.
off. Oh, sorry. I wanted to kick you, but you
What
turned.
are you doing?
So,
Yeah.
go, Zen. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh fuck! I lost my train of thought. Good job, man.
Yeah.
I win.
Yeah, of
But you gotta
course you
play.
win.
You gotta play, man.
God damn it, I wanna watch.
Right now they're trading combustions. I was going to say something and then I completely forgot. Fuck. Yeah. That's also something. It's not. I talked about that to a lot of people before talking about that to you. It's how you consider how can I say that? How you approach rating a weapon, quote unquote, rating a weapon. And in Dark Souls, the community has all like the solver
done
community,
the
for
work
example.
before.
Yeah, like the way people approach it is, I won games with that weapon.
So
I
he's
had
good.
like a decent. So not necessarily good, but it can be viable.
Yeah.
Mortis Brigade, for example, had that kind of speech in one of these videos where he played Chaos Blade, and he said it was easy mode, and that he didn't really feel pride in having a high win rate with that weapon. The thing is, he was fighting awful players.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
having a win rate doesn't represent anything. And I always, when I try to consider a weapon or a setup good, and I think most good players do the same, I always try to imagine fighting someone better than me. How will this weapon do against someone that's slightly better than me? Because if someone is way better than me, he's going to beat me anyway.
Yes, that would be a fair assessment.
Exactly. But against someone that's slightly better than me, like very slightly, how will that weapon do? That's how I consider it.
Of course,
and it's true that
that's why you try to use a better weapon to defeat a slightly better player.
For
Compensation.
example, it's true that if someone like that's super experienced at the game uses the war pike with the Leo ring, he's gonna destroy like randoms that have like 500 hours in the game. He has 2,000 hours. He's gonna destroy them. That's normal. It's just because he has more experience, more knowledge.
Of course.
Then he fights a player that's his level, or even slightly weaker than him, or just a good player in general. He's gonna get dunked because the weapon is garbage. So you have to, of course, there's experimentation to be done, but you have to account for when does your results
are relevant.
Exactly. When do your results become relevant? What kind of player do you need to beat? What kind of matchups do you need to have experience with to determine if the weapon is relevant or not? If your results are relevant or not when using a certain weapon or a certain build, for that matter.
Sure.
So yeah, some weapons like it's true that there's still experimentation to be done, but some weapons are just not viable. You can win with them, but it doesn't matter if you win against players that are garbage at the game. That backstep into running attack.
I thought I already killed him. GG, Black Knight.
So now it's my time to abort the subject. It's
yes.
Pretty controversial in Dark Souls. Why do you play at 60 FPS when it's a well-known fact that it gives you advantages over 30 FPS?
It's debatable about the advantages.
It's not really debatable, though.
It's not?
There are a lot of things that you can do at 60 FPS that you cannot do at 30. The only thing that 60
for
FPS
example,
makes it worse for is backstabs. You have less backstab window at 60 FPS, so that's a disadvantage for sure.
No, the problem would be
you have half the frames at 60 FPS. So it is true that at 60 FPS it's harder to backstab people. But
the backstab windows and the parry windows are smaller.
Yeah, so it's harder to parry or backstab at 60 FPS. So that's a disadvantage. That's very true. Now for the advantages. A lot of your animations are halved in frames.
Yes.
And that will, first of all, that would make you like kind of slidey. Like right now, you're kind of slidey. You see what I mean? Like.
Yes, I know. But the advanced tech doesn't really work here in 60 FPS. For example, the ghost hits have 1 in 10 chance to happen.
Yeah, it's harder, but at the same time you're unchainable.
And no, you are pretty
If you,
much.
if no. If you play correctly, if you're doing the right thing, you are chainable. I've seen people like stand still and wake up against very late RBS and not get chained, which is not normal.
Yeah, but the other exploits are normal.
Yeah, they are, because the game is 30 FPS originally.
No, they're not, cause that's why they're exploits. They
No,
are not intended to happen, but
they are not intended to happen. But you are not using a third-party program to use them. To how can I say that? To
yes,
cause them.
but you
But
can
the only
you
thing
can
is-
say they're fair only if they're as intended, working and as
No.
intended.
That's completely different, dude.
Okay.
No. Because 60 FPS is not a game mechanic. It's not a glitch. It's the third-party software. It's exactly the same thing as you complaining about infinite durability, for example. To me, that's the same. It changes the game and how people need to play against you in a way that you choose. You know what I mean? Like, people don't choose
Yes, I
latency.
understand that.
You know, people don't choose latency. They don't choose where they live. But that's your decision to play at 60 FPS because it looks better, or something like.
No. I'm not trying hard. It simply looks better.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
some instances, 60 FPS fucking makes the fight worse. Cause I have
players.
the ability to ghost hit or dead angle, but playing in 60 FPS means that a lot of the time that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, someone is saying me they're not intended to happen, but they're still part of the native game. That's exactly what I said. Like, it's very true. Like, there's a difference between exploits that are part of the game and exploits that are, and it's not even an exploit, and third-party software, which GSFix is. Like, to me, it's the exact same thing as infinite durability.
Yes, but that's a subtle difference. Because in the end, exploits are exploits.
No, like, I think, dude, come on, like.
Okay,
No,
I'll drop it. I'll drop it.
You see what I mean? No. But you're right. They're exploits. But I don't see how you cannot make the difference between an actual exploit that's part of the native game, like said Zane, and something that's from a third-party software.
Yes, I can make the difference, but
You know,
I'm arguing is not that big. It's a trade-off. Not being able to use the in-game exploits because I'm using another one of my own.
It's not about you. It's about other players. You make the game worse for players that are fighting you, and you're not doing so by using the game itself. You're doing so by using a third-party software, which is completely different.
Okay, I understood that. To
You see what I
me,
mean?
it's a trade. To me, it's a trade.
But it's not about you. It's about the players that you fight, the players that you encounter in the game.
Okay, another point. I'm playing on a PC monitor, a 60 Hz monitor.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, and 30 FPS on that looks... it looks...
No, I see what you mean. Like, 60 FPS, like, probably looks better. Like, to me, it looks too warpy. Like, not too warpy, but too, like, smooth. It doesn't look natural. But that's because I'm probably very used to 30 FPS. The thing is...
I'm used to 60.
Yeah, exactly. You probably played it with it for a long time. But
yeah.
The thing is, like...
No, I'm talking about other games. I'm used to play at 60 FPS. The movement looks way natural.
Yeah, because you're used to it, you know. But like for me, for example, do you have, by the way, do you have VODs activated on Twitch?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Would you mind uploading it at some time? Our discussion from the beginning, like a whole thing. Is it possible? Not.
Yes, of course.
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't mind. That's the whole point.
Yeah, okay. Nice man, nice man. I just wanna like have some because that's
That's
the first
the
time.
first thought I had when I started the stream, not for PvP or for fighting
Okay, cool.
other players, just for saving the talk.
Good news, good news. So yeah, like, you know, it's kind of like what we're. That's the only thing I can say is that makes me think of the infinite durability. I said that like 3 or 5 times, but by using like a third-party software, you alteract not only your game experience, whether it's good or not for you, but the thing is, it
I know,
makes it
and
work
I
for other players.
understand your
Okay.
fair point.
Would
And
you change to, let's say, hypothetically, you're going to take part in a tournament, which you're probably not, but let's say you're doing that. Would you go back to 30 FPS, for example? Because
yes,
that's one of the rules of the tournament.
yes, of course.
Okay, okay.
I've actually fought in a fight club. I think Mules did that fight club, was
Mules
the
for
host.
Fags, something?
What?
Mules for Fags is his name?
Yeah, Mules for Facts, XD.
Yeah, I didn't play when he was playing. I don't know who he is, but I've heard of him.
Yeah, he came from Xbox, I think.
Okay.
And I've played. I fought only me, Mules, and Lasse. I think I had 60 FPS on. Only once I fought him. But I fought other players at 30 FPS,
Yeah.
and I
So
won some, lost some. But
So you agree on the fact that 60 FPS is not cool for other players? Like, we agree on that, right? Like, it makes it fucking annoying, honestly, fighting 60 FPS people. Like Sergey, for example, that's on
Yes.
120 FPS. Oh my god.
yes,
dude.
yes, that's
So
that's
fucking, like,
the bigger difference. Closer one would be 60 to 90 FPS.
okay. I don't know
120
enough
is
about
double the frame rate I'm having usually. But yes, I can see that.
Okay, good that we came on an agreement on that. That's a pretty interesting topic.
But
because
that's not what most of them hate me for. Not for the 60 FPS.
No, but that's something that's interesting to talk about, right? Because we talked about cheat engine and infinite durability. We can talk about exploits though if you want, like in-game exploits, and why you think they're good or bad for the game, and why I think they're good or bad for the game.
No. I didn't say they are bad. They're fair game.
We can talk
That
about
I
that,
agree with you. They're fair game. If the coders were bad, the developers, that's their problem. But if those exploits actually make the skill cap higher, that's all good.
Do you think in Dark Souls they make the skill cap higher?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Do you have, like, are there exploits you have problem with, like you wish they weren't there, or people wouldn't use them?
Nothing comes to mind, to be
Okay.
honest.
I don't really see why you brought them up then. Like, when you compared that to 60 FPS, for example.
Because I wanted to accentuate the trade-off. I'm willingly giving up using those exploits, even if I'm capable of actually using them.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Because, to be honest, backstab cancels, backstab escapes actually make the PvP more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, like, small part of the backstab game, though.
And for example, one reason why I'm playing in 60 FPS, for the parries. The parries are way harder on 60 FPS than in 30. The parry window is 4 times smaller.
Yeah, but that's not the point, right? Like, we came to an agreement that it's. I mean, I don't know if you agreed on that. You told me you agreed, but I don't know if you agree on the fact. Like, I'm not gonna repeat it 5 times.
Okay.
It's not about you. It's about how it like it's a nuisance to other players fighting you. It's really not about you when it comes to 60 FPS. Like, you might make a trade-off, but other people don't care. You see what I mean? Like, they just see you sliding around and like.
Yes, and
having
I'm
all the
free
fight
not to
breakups.
care about what they do care.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's fair. Like, we talked about that, like, with the. Then again, the infinite durability. When I said that we just don't bother turning it off when
No.
we're fighting them. You know, like, okay. I mean, like, to me, like, because I don't fight you ever, it doesn't matter. As long as theoretically you would deactivate it in a tournament setting, and, like, to me, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to talk about the 60 FPS because it's something that it's not really talked about. It's just generally like tryhards say that 60 FPS is bad, and like randoms say that I don't care, just gonna use 60 FPS. So okay.
Tumble buffing and move swapping. Yeah, fair point, Silver. Okay.
There are actually, there are exploits that are banned in tournament settings. Like,
he's right.
what did he say? I'm not on your stream.
He gave an example of bad exploits, like tumble buffing.
Yeah, that's completely true. There are exploits that are too much.
Yeah.
That's very true. Tumble buffing, perma swapping weapons.
Yeah, that.
In PvE, that's arguable. I love Dark Souls 1 speedruns, for example. I think the exploits don't hurt the speedrun because
True.
People would be at a level anyway that they would perfect the boss, so it doesn't matter. They wouldn't get hit either way. It just makes the boss faster. Almost fell off.
And that doesn't affect other people.
Yeah. But this is very true. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but there are exploits that are too much in Dark Souls 1. Tumble buffing, perma swapping, even, like, that's arguable, but there's even, believe it or not, an item that quite a few tryhards, me included, look down upon and don't want used in tournament settings. An item. We use full giant Mask of the Mother builds, but red Tearstone ring is banned in most tournaments. Can you believe that? Because it's unfair, I think, and a lot of people think like that. So yeah, not everything, like, when we say everything that the game gives you access to, is actually not true.
Yeah.
We still have rules, which a lot of people don't think we do have, but we still have rules. For example, like red Tearstone ring, blue Tearstone ring, no tumble buffing, no perma swapping in fair duels, because it simply lowers the skill cap, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, we agree on a lot of, like, we agree to let slip in. Also, it's important to not really restrict players on things that they cannot really control, right? Like, I was talking with a player about banning in a tournament, like, just theoretically banning wall hugging, like staying back to a wall so you couldn't get backstabbed.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, in that game, you cannot really ban that, like, because it's something that players might do not on purpose. So when you ban or, like, decide to disallow some exploits, you have to take that into account too. Can it be reasonably banned without making people having to limit themselves, whether it's a movement or whether it's any gameplay mechanic? Limiting people when it comes to gameplay mechanics is, like, pretty much impossible because things might just happen by accident.
True.
So that's where we don't have rules most of the time. It's when it comes to live mechanics that happen in a fight. You cannot really ban anything when it comes to that. It just won't work. You say, okay, if you wall hug for more than 5 seconds, but, like, you really want, like, the players to count how long they're gonna wall hug, it's not doable. RTSR hasn't really had a fair look to it. Go ahead, Zane. What do you mean? Yeah, I know you don't mind it. It's like I heard. I don't know where. Oh, I think it's in your stream description. You don't mind it, but it's not allowed in. No, it's in one of your bugs FM. I think you say that you don't mind it, even though it's looked down upon. I think it's Dark Souls with the backstab mechanic that does so much damage. Already has enough potential for comebacks.
Yeah.
That RTSR is not needed. But it's true that, I mean, it used to be used in tournament settings on PC when we were like 5 players. Back when you didn't play on PC, it used to be used in tournaments, like in fight clubs. It was pretty obnoxious. Then, Zane, what would be your argument in favor of RTSR then? Yeah, you can't flip, you can't Hornet either, but that doesn't matter because you'll do more damage than a backstab Hornet anyway. No point. You cannot flip, that's true. So you think the trade-off of not being able to flip at low health is a big enough punishment for 150% increased damage? Not 150, it's just 50%, but you see what I mean.
Yeah, but
like multiplying your damage by 1.5?
If you cannot dodge efficiently.
So you would agree with Zane. You would say that RTSR would be fair because you cannot dodge.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. At low health, it's importantly to not take any more damage, no?
Yeah, but the thing is, in some matchups, let's say you fall at between 20% and 25% health, which can happen pretty frequently in some matchup, for example, against QFS, against someone that uses a rapier or an S-Dog frequently either as a side weapon or a main weapon. In these matchups that have low damaging weapons, getting at these fairly perfect percentages for RTSR is pretty frequent. So you get at like 20 to 25% health. Yeah. So then you're in this situation as the person that initially had the advantage. You're against this guy that you cannot kill in one hit, that can kill you in one hit, because he has RTSR. You see what I mean? Like you're at 700 health, using QFS for like Fury Sword.
Why the fuck am I jumping back?
Against a Claymore user that has 20% health, like 300 health. So you cannot kill him with a QFS hit, but he can kill you with a Claymore hit. So that would mean people would, at very, very high level, let's say RTSR is in the meta, that would mean people would purposely try to get hit to get in RTSR range, which would shift the battle in their advantage instead of being at this disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty interesting to think about it. That would completely change the way you would play certain matchups. I didn't think about that. I'm not sure I would like it, but that's actually interesting to think about it. And also you would trade, obviously, the ability to flip. This fucking... What the fuck is he doing? Okay, he's gonna get one shot by BKGH. GA. But yeah, that's... And you would still have the trade-off, that's true. Yeah, you're a cheeser, Zane.
He knows that.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's still interesting to think about. It's true that what Zen said, that it has a really big stigma. Like people just hate it, and there's not much thought put into this hate. It's just like it seems unfair on paper, so people don't use it. But yeah, it has some interesting properties when it comes to matchups and gameplay mechanic and how people would like adapt on the long term if it would be used constantly.
Yeah, that's a strategy. This.
Okay, you're against Juan again. Go. Or I'm backstabbing you. Just go.
No.
Why don't you use Mask of the Mother and then switch once you've taken enough damage? Yeah, should have stood still, I think you say. Oh!
Ah!
Oh, no, dude, come on! No, you're gonna die! No. Oh, that's so sad. Hornet
Yeah.
might have killed too.
I know. That's not a problem.
Oh. I'm gonna punch you down. I'm gonna punch you down now.
I deserve that. I deserve it, to be honest.
Fuck. Come on. No. I'm so pissed now.
Yeah.
That happened to me pretty frequently, to be honest. So. Yeah, why don't you use Mask of the Mother and switch after you take damage?
I'm.
It demands a little bit of practice, but it comes pretty fast, to be honest.
No. The same way you can change your weapon mid-fight,
Yeah.
you can also change armor.
Helms, rings, and stuff.
Yeah, I know. But
Is there a reason you don't do it, or just too lazy, or something?
no.
You should, man.
As a personal preference.
It's like a free 10% HP. Come on.
Yes, I know.
Okay. I mean, is there any other subject we talked about mentioning that we mentioned?
Yeah, there is one more.
Oh, wait a sec, before you board that. Next says you can take off armor and break Ring of Favor and Protection to have flip RTSR. I would do that in a tourney with it allowed. That's a very fair point, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Sorry, Nag, I didn't see you whispering to me on Twitch. Yep, so then the flip is not really that much of a problem anymore. But you would get one shot by that.
Yeah, I know.
That wouldn't watch it either way. But yeah, it would make RTSR even stronger. I didn't even think about people doing that, breaking Fab Ring.
Yeah, because most of the others don't expect that. But that would be
Juan is asking, how do these look for him, Lamau? I'm just pulling him from direction his back isn't facing. Is it laggy for you against Juan? The guy you just fought?
What?
Is it laggy for you against the guy you just fought? He says the backstab look weird. Like, he backstabbed you, like he sucked you from... You weren't even showing your back.
No, on my screen I think it looked alright. By the way, that's one.
Yeah, BK Nig 62 is one.
He changed his name? Okay. Oh, so I should play properly.
I mean, you're fighting pretty decent players. Like there isn't any bad players.
No, that's not decent. I'm making way too many mistakes. And I
But
know
I
that.
mean, the players you're fighting are all really good right now. So
Yes, I
no,
know that. I know that. But I'm making way too many mistakes. Because
Yeah,
I'm not actually focused on the fighting.
okay.
When the hell did Juan change his name?
I think I was hosting or he was hosting, I don't remember, and the random guy invaded and his name was BKNig62. And I said, because he was using Black Knight Great Axe, Juan, I said to him, you should be BKNig62, and he changed his name.
Ah, so it's a sort of... Yeah.
It's a pretty cool name, you have to admit. It's a pretty fucking amazing
Yeah,
name.
it is. That it is.
BKNig62, man, like, come on. You said you had another subject you wanted
Yeah,
to...
but if he's flipping, it shouldn't be 69.
No, man, 62. Just that
bad joke, I know.
You don't know where it comes from.
No, no.
That's why the 62 is important because it's random.
Yeah.
It's like 125. Batmanship 125. Yeah, there was something you said you wanted to bring up, like a talking subject.
Yeah. Another more important one. Community health.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty important subject.
Yeah, how can it be kept alive? Should it be kept alive, and if yes, how?
What do you mean by community health?
Constant, decently large player base active.
Streams?
No, not streamers. Players in game. Streamers there will be streamers if there are players in game. That's not an issue.
Stream is important. Like streamers bring people in the game. That's what I mean. Like
yeah, they do wanna engage with streamers, but I'm the exception here because I'm not that good. But that's besides the point.
So you're asking me how I would like keep the community alive?
How can it be kept? Not necessarily by you.
Yeah, I mean, people streaming, like, I think it's pretty important that people stream the game. It brings people together. Whenever you see, for example, last streaming or like any decent players streaming, you instantly see fucking 10 seconds on the ground.
Yeah, but that does nothing on the larger player base, on the whole player base. That does something to the micro community.
I see what you mean. Community inside the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the problems with tryhards. They don't mix up. It's hard to mix in very well. But you also have to admit that our community has been shit talked about, including by bigger streamers like Solbrand, for years, and by like random players in general. And don't mean like you, because you clearly said that you didn't have any problem with exploits if they raised the skill cap. But like players complaining about backstab, saying that it requires no skill, and thus never trying to get better, never trying to counter it. So there's like the problem does not only come from us, but we have like by being pretty elitist, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
That's a thing.
It's not. It's also. It can be cool to a certain extent, elitism, because it can, you know, it's like in MMOs, like World of Warcraft, right? When you see this guy with the super good gear that you're never gonna get, but it still kind of makes you dream. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So elitism in small doses can be a good thing. But
it's
it is
not.
true that
it's close to segregation. more
Yeah,
like.
it is true that it's hard to like get into this community if you don't know people. How to fix it? Well, tryhard, for example, has encouraged non-tryhard players to join his next international tournament. He's
Yeah, but
been at
that's although it's commendable, but that's one off, and it's 3 months from now.
no, but of
But
course,
that's a
like
good gesture. I understand that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like
But
that's I
that
think that would be a
doesn't
good idea.
happen on the day-to-day basis.
That's nothing like that is never going to happen on the day-to-day basis. Maybe on a
But
weekly
it
basis
can.
it could happen. On a weekly basis it could. That's not like organizing events every week, like on the weekends, encouraging people to. What else could we do?
Yes, but
But
events are not necessarily needed. Are
no,
not mandatory for that effect.
well, what do you mean events? Like we're talking about an event.
Yes, you gave
That's what I mean.
one example.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not finished though.
Okay,
But
okay. Please
you
do.
agree though, right? Like these kind of events, if they were more frequent, would be like they are healthy for the game. Like encouraging people that are not necessarily part of our community to join these events. What
Yes.
else is what we're doing right now? I mean, if like one person gets convinced that there can be a discussion, that's worth it for me. So what we're doing right now is a decent gesture, I think.
Yes, that was my intention. That's why I wanted it streamed.
What else? I had this idea. It's not actually my idea. I stole it from. I inspired myself, but it's basically a steal from one of Zane's video, where he talks about like inviting someone to talk with him, and talking about the meta and some like fight analysis and stuff, and just like chat with the person and talk about the game. I want to do that. I want to do videos where I fight the person, and then for like an hour we take like 10 minutes worth of decent clips,
Yeah.
and we like chat over it and like say what our thought processes were, what we were doing, what
You mean a good commentary
what are the mistakes
and
exactly, but also
explanation also for the non-initiated.
exactly, but not in a really like hardcore way, kind of like casual, where like we would joke around and stuff. Also,
Yes.
like nothing
Yeah, that's
scripted.
more approachable.
Nothing scripted, exactly. Like just like we look at we fight for an hour, then we say, okay, these matches were pretty cool. We look at the fights together with like Skype
And
or whatever,
explain
and,
them.
like, yeah, and explain what our thought process and like joke about mistakes or joke or not about mistakes that we made and stuff like that. This I think that could like kind of, for like players that are not experienced, that could show the thought process that goes behind a competitive mind. Like,
Yeah,
how does
and could make informed decision about their playstyle and changes they need to do.
and
Yeah.
maybe change the way they see tryhards, right? Like we're not,
Yes.
I'm gonna win. We just
Yes, but
it's
that's a problem. Because some of the tryhards believe those are the secrets of the trade. Some of them.
You mean how I'm gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean, ultimately, it's still that. Like, how am I going to win the game? Like, that's still that's what I think about. That's what most people think about. But it's not it's not how I'm going to win to like humiliate that guy. It's how can I like use the mechanics of the game cleverly to like do either cool stuff or like effective stuff, functional stuff. Like that's why I want to invite different players, because that's something I mentioned earlier in the stream. This game is deep enough for it to have different playstyles in it.
yes.
And you would like in these videos, if I do that, and I really want to do that, that's something like I think that would be fun to do and fun for people to watch if it's done correctly. You could see like how people have different mindsets, and it could like I hope it will inspire. If it inspires like 2 people, I'm happy with it. Like it would inspire like players to like try out our mindset and our way of playing. So that's an idea. Do you have any ideas of yours where how we could like tighten the community and keep it alive?
Yeah, you can do the. My idea was the same, but you said it publicly, but that can also happen privately.
Oh, you mean like coaching?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been coached personally. That's how I got into the tryhard meta. It was a long time ago. That with a player that's not playing anymore. At the time, he was the best player on PC when everyone was garbage. He was called Misha.
Nice.
I'm gonna write it on Steam chats. And it is very true. And we actually had a stream conversation on Twitch chat with I had a discussion with, like that with other chatters about the fact that being teached by someone like privately, like that just reviews your plays and stuff, is the best way to learn.
Exactly.
And wait a second, some stuff. Coaching happens already. Just need to search people help and we're willing to learn. You'll find that truly love teaching people. That's very true, though. I personally I like teaching people. And what Zane is saying, and I'm not the only one. Like, if you are willing to learn and just go talk to someone and ask him, can we do duels? Also, if you have any advice, most veterans will be willing to do that for you. That's actually true. Yeah. I'll read you the full message he gave me. Coaching happens already. You just need to search the people help and be willing to learn. You'll find vets really love teaching people. The community gets passionate when someone wants to get good. That's true. Coaching already happens, but it might not be up
But
obvious.
not in an efficient way. It's not that active.
Yeah, I mean,
The way you proposed it, that's better.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really people are coaching. You cannot really blame them for not being professionals. You see what I mean?
Okay. Fair enough.
It's not only coaching that's important. It's also finding someone to progress along with. That would be really good if two players trying to get good at the game, instead of only seeking coaching for better players, would seek players that are roughly their level and try super hard against them. That's how I progressed. I got coaching, but I also
by the way, crame, I'm hosting now.
Oh, you're hosting. Okay. If you don't want to fight. For example, I played I progressed along with Eric McLeod. Maybe you know that player, old PC player. He doesn't play anymore. I'm gonna write down.
I've got into this in 2014, so
yeah. No, he was still playing, I think.
He was.
Okay, I'm not gonna summon. Not gonna summon people. I'm gonna let you host. But yeah,
you can join.
No, I don't want to fight. I want to talk. I want to focus on talking.
Yeah, me too.
But it's very important to find someone along to play with on top of a coach. That happened. Like I said, I'm gonna use myself as an example.
Yeah, you need to practice your teachings.
Exactly. That was with exactly. Yeah. You need to apply them in real fights with someone that's not gonna stomp you.
Yeah.
For me, that was Eric. When we started backstabbing.
Oh yeah, I know Eric.
Yeah, we started playing together, and we started to progress along with each other. But we were still honorable back then. We didn't backstab and stuff. Honor kids. And then it happened with Quintana 411, where he was way better than me at the time. We were both getting coached by a Misha, and like he would like destroy us and explain us how he destroyed us, and then we would play together and like try to impress him. It was like a lot of fun because he was the real teacher. Was really fun. So I don't know how we could like make that happen. Maybe like like make forum posts where like we would invite players willing to learn and like see them fight and like assign them to each other depending on their level. Something like that would be fun. I don't know how that would like. Oh, we could help that though. The players willing to learn have to take that initiative.
I actually, another thing, I like to interact, to talk with some of the randoms I meet. And what the hell happened? Oh.
Wait a sec. If
What
we're
is...
talking, I'm gonna make myself a coffee and mute myself because it's gonna be noisy. Quick, mute.
Oh, by the way, to whoever is watching, should I remove that bottom left corner scanner thing? Or whoever is fighting?
Yo. Okay, go ahead.
I'm looking for
Hello?
signs. Yeah. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Yeah, I've mentioned I like to interact with randoms and understand what's their mindset about the game. And I've met saltier ones. I've actually talked to people who are close to quitting the game because they were honorable, I think, and they didn't like healing the other players, the opponent's healing in matches.
Getting backstabbed, getting
stuff
like
backstab,
that,
fishing,
like that.
and healing. And I've managed to talk a few back in.
So when you talked to them about that, did they complain to you about you, or did they complain to you about other players?
About other players.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't think we can do that. That's gonna be you guys, like you.
The general mindset.
Zepperino. You see what I mean? Like players that are not tryhards, that use tryhard mechanics, but that also fuck around with like dumb builds and
yeah.
in the forest.
That's
we cannot do that.
The playful aspect is actually healthy for every relationship or community.
Exactly.
It's extremely healthy. You need to break the tension at some point, or stress as a stress reliever.
Yeah, it's true. Though, like I said, we cannot do that. That's going to be you guys' job, because when we get complaints, it's about ourselves, and it's most of the time hate mail. Sometimes it's not, but yeah. We cannot really help someone that already fucking hates us because of the way we play. You see what I mean?
That depends on the person, to be honest. if he's open to suggestion, he may listen.
Yeah, it's true, but it's also true that, like I mentioned earlier, we're not professionals, right? We're just like people playing a video game.
Of course.
As that, you cannot expect most people to just say, yeah, I can hear you, I can hear where you fucking insulted my mother, but hear me out still. You know, like, no, they're just gonna say fuck off, or like save the screenshot to show it in Twitch chat and like make fun of the guy. Right?
Yes, crane.
It's also expected. Yeah.
If you understand his mindset, his soul, why he insulted your mother.
Yeah, I mean, I was salty for a long time about that. Like,
you shouldn't take it too hard. You know?
It's not about taking it too hard. It's about giving enough of a fuck to help that guy, other than saying him fuck off, right? Like, you cannot expect people that are getting insulted to, at least most people, to just like embrace it and say, yeah, but hear me out a second. That's why I do it, and that's how, and you should try to get better, and it's okay, you insulted me, but no. People are just gonna say fuck off. It's the normal reaction. You see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And when people are being polite and like friendly about saying, oh my god, you destroyed me, by the way, backstab fishing is kind of lame, I don't know why you did that, but GG or something like that. Like, I had messages like that. You can talk to these people. You cannot talk to the people that just like insult you. That's not doing that. Like, they're assholes, right?
Yeah.
Not gonna talk to them. So it's always the same, right? Like, we have a part. If we want to keep this community alive and we want more new players to.
By the way, just a pause. Zane, tell me if my FPS is affecting your gameplay. I'll switch it back to 60. And while you have this fight.
So yeah, like, it's not only our job to be friendly and welcoming, which we are not always, but we are sometimes. It's also the job of the guy of the like less experienced players to just not be dicks about it.
Yeah, both parties need to not be dicks about it.
Exactly. So yeah, the game is being right now kept alive. That was a pretty sexy backstab into backstab, by the way.
Yep. That it was.
I think it's going towards the right direction. Like, Zwei Storny, us having this discussion, the idea I stole and I'm gonna do. What else? The guide I made, like, I was really surprised. It got really positive reactions.
Why not? It's a pretty good guide. It's not comprehensive, but it has the main points.
I was expecting a lot of hate mail. I
Why?
got one, actually. I'm gonna read it to you and see what I expected.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like joke mails that I don't care about. Like, I think the creator of this guide have a male fetish or something. Like, that's, just a banter. I don't care.
That's a trolling attempt and nothing more.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter, right? But then you have this guy, Low, the backstab fisher builds these days, not even entertaining or original. Like, and I got one message like that, like one message.
And that triggered you?
Not at all. I was expecting way more. I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy that, like, not people didn't fucking take it like I was trying to tell them which build to use or something like that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty fucking positive, I think. So these kind of attempts, like, I don't know, like trying to educate people without sounding like we're smartasses. You see what I mean?
Yeah, elitist and yeah.
And to be fair, it's really not easy to
No, he's not.
educate people without like being like talking like you're their father or something like that. It's
Yeah.
pretty hard, actually.
Well, people usually cannot be objective about opinions. They just cannot.
I mean, that's why their opinions. They cannot be objective
Yeah, exactly.
in the first place. But yeah, I think the community is like going the good direction at the moment. To be fair, TBH, TBF, SMH, like if you want to organize events, like because you're the one that brought up that subject, if you want to organize events, I'm pretty sure people like tryhard will be thrilled about it and like participate. But to give you an example, the last time I joined a Dark Souls bootcamp fight club was like a year and a half ago. I was playing Flip Spear, and people told me, "Yeah, Crame, we don't really like the way you play. Could you just leave, please?" You know, like people have. Like I said, I think there's a couple of players, me included, tryhard. That's the two that come in mind. Like maybe Zane would be willing to help. Atlas, when he's not emo, would be willing to help. Lass, when he's not triggered, would be willing to help.
Yeah.
Like most decent players are willing to help. You just have to like ask nicely and not be salty about your losses. But yeah, if you want to organize events like weekly, for example, like a weekly fight club where we only have random fighting good players, for example. So it will be a fucking butchery, I'm warning you, but just that. And then we like go over the fights, someone records them or something, and we go over the fights. You do a streaming event, for example.
Yeah.
Where you invite a different player every time. And like, he fights someone, and then you talk about how the fight went. You look back at the replay or something. I don't know. Like, if you want to organize that, I'm pretty sure like a lot of players will be thrilled about it. Like kind of like coaching weekend or something like that. That's I don't know. There's stuff like that, right? Like
that would be actually useful.
Yeah, like do that kind of stuff. Like I said,
And,
I would be thrilled about it. tryhard, I'm fucking sure he would love to do something like that. Like,
to be honest, most randoms have a. I'm hearing myself. To be honest, most randoms have difficulty getting understanding the advanced techniques, because most of them they don't know about advanced techniques and how they work.
Are you hearing yourself through my mic?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not normal. I have a headset. I don't know how to fix it. Give me a sec.
No, this happened recently, not from the start.
That's weird. I really don't know how to fix it. Well, if it's too bad, I just mute myself when you talk manually.
Get the fuck away from here. You're fucking up their target lock.
Yeah, that's why you kill these guys when they invade immediately.
Yeah, I know.
Just
Let him get stunned. That's the risk they take when they invade. No?
It is. But then they come complaining, yeah, I didn't even take part in the fight.
Yeah, because they were expecting low-level players.
About what you said of like it's hard for new players to get in, it's also a problem of video content in any bigger game. I'll take like League of Legends or Hearthstone as an example.
Yeah, you have a lot of showcases, a lot of example of, I don't know.
Exactly.
But no explanation for them.
Well, on Dark Souls it's complicated, right? Like most people that do that are benevols. I don't know if that's an English name, an English word.
But it is in my language.
Yeah, so you see what I mean? Let me check
Yeah,
the translation. Yo, yeah, most of these players are volunteers. So, oh, that's Duck. Okay, the blue guy is Duck, and I'm pretty sure he invaded on level 200 build because he's fucking cock. So,
yeah. I don't have his stats here. Only the first summon.
so yeah.
But this is not a tournament, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, he's still a fucking cock though.
That may be true.
There's a big lack of content on YouTube or stuff like that, and that's simply because there's not enough players. But that's very true. Like all the videos, there are videos, but they're either very scarce, like you don't have a lot of content, or
Yeah, there are how-tos, but not. There's a lack of content of videos explaining during the matches, like you said, a good commentary.
Yeah, actual commentary, or it's been done by bad players,
Yeah,
Sovereign, or stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely lack of content on that, and even like tutorials, or most of them are pretty outdated now. Like
yeah, but
EWTF.
that's a problem with the tutorials, because they are set up, you know, they are in control the environments, if you will.
Yeah, but it's still important. But
Yes, of course.
yeah, that's true what you said about the commentary. That's why I'm really excited about this content. The video I want to make.
Yeah, surely I'll upload the VOD to YouTube.
And it's also like so much less work than doing actual tutorials to do what I mentioned, like just talking over the games without scripts or anything. That's so much easier because doing tutorials is so much work, dude. So much work. Like doing well put videos with like decent production value. That's like a lot of hours in front of the editor.
And the lazy ones like me.
I mean, even non-lazy people like Tryhard, for example, that puts out and used to and still does a bit less, but still does put a lot of content on YouTube, like helpful content, like tech stuff and just random duel videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I still like one of his videos.
Yeah, I agree, Zane. It's true that tutorials won't like make you the best players immediately, but they're still very important.
Yeah, but you see, most people watch videos with good fights and wonder how that win was achieved.
Yeah.
If you have a good commentary during that fight, that goes a long way.
Fucking Duck, man. He's fucking SL 217. Oh my fucking god. But yeah, it's very true, Zane. Like, the game needs more content that's not just highlights and montages. But
yeah.
Then again, it's so much work to do. It's a lot of work. So it's not surprising that people are not doing it.
You are right. That's another form of trolling, I guess. But as you said about Zep, this is Duck's way of fucking around. By the way, Crane, do you know about Xenahorde's Ravelord thing in Painted World?
Does Xeha still play? I haven't.
No, he doesn't still play.
No, I don't. I don't know. Finish you were talking about.
Just a second.
You were talking about his grave events. What about it?
That was extremely fun.
Yeah, grave events are a lot of fun. Although it might generate some salt, like it did last time. Like it actually didn't help you and I's relationship. The last big grave
No. Ah, you meant the previous.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Yeah. But I steered away from that because it was soul level 200 Gravelord did.
Oh, okay, yeah, high level.
High level.
Any kind of community event, to be honest, like whether it's just the fight club like you're doing right now, or there are not enough, like you said earlier. You said that that was not enough, but it still does something. It still brings people together. It gives people something to watch about their favorite game or something. Like, you see what I mean? Like I do not partake in most of these events. Like I do not do much fight clubs because I don't like to wait for summoning, for example. But I take that any day. Like if every day there can be like someone streaming with like, I don't know, 30 viewers, like even 10 viewers, like showcasing people fighting or fighting himself. That's good. That's always good. But it's never bad.
Of course.
As much of that as possible, always. And yeah, of course, like Zen did, it's like there needs to be more tutorials, but I quote a lot of work for very little appreciation. That's very true. Maybe if we do what you talked about and like try to bring the community together and the two sides, quote unquote, of the community.
I think it's doable.
Yeah, by doing this, yeah, it is definitely doable. But it's pretty hard. But by doing this like coaching or like these analysis videos, and if we can bring more people in the sphere, we will maybe at one point get someone that's like talented enough or willing enough to make these tutorials. But right now there is no one in the community that has either it's the time or the skills or the like
disposition for that.
Yeah, exactly. All their what's the fucking word? Holy shit. La volonté. Fuck.
To be willing to do it.
Exactly.
I understand French a bit.
Yeah. Okay. La volonté. Yeah, nobody's either skilled enough or willing to do something like that, or has the time. But that maybe will come. Yeah, the more players we have in the community, the more we'll have a chance to get someone like that.
Of course.
I'm out of cigarettes, I think. Fuck.
I'm covered.
Okay.
Ooh, nice one. Duck is ducking around. By the way, have you increased your headset volume or the mic sensitivity?
I haven't touched anything.
Oh.
Try now to talk.
It doesn't matter that much.
I mean, yeah, but it's
it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, if you want to upload that, it'd be better if you didn't have this kind of stuff like echo.
It's more the message is more important than the way it's delivered.
That's completely not true.
Fuck off.
No, dude, I swear. There's one thing I learned in communication school.
Okay.
Is that when you're addressing an uneducated public,
you need to package. The package matters.
Exactly.
I know that. But
way more than the
we're
message.
not.
Way more.
Yes, but you're not talking in a. You're not talking to randoms in a public space. It is a public space, but you're not talking on the street to hobos. You know?
No, but
They're not
still,
exactly randoms.
it's still very important. Like aesthetics and the way you put in the paging and the way you say things, like the quality of the content is very, very important. The production value is very, very important when you put out some content. It's important to have decent, for example, if you're showcasing fights in a video game, like Dark Souls, it's important to have decent video quality. Because otherwise, people that do not have good knowledge of the game will just see the video, they'll see it's shit, and they won't watch it. For example, Lass's videos, they're really, really good. Like he has some really good fights on there. The quality
Yeah,
is
but
shit. He would have
yeah,
like twice or three times the views, I think, if the quality was better in some of his videos. That's pretty important.
yeah, I agree with you, but I still watch them, although I don't agree to the color scheme or the
Yeah, he can fuck off with
technical.
that. But I mean, yeah, it's just he's just a memer.
Yeah. Dark. Yeah, but what I meant, usually the players. Oh, that was pretty nasty. Usually the people who watch this kind of videos or hang in Twitch, Dark Souls Twitch streams, are not exactly randoms. They are willing to learn more about the game, most of them.
Yeah, but your concerns were to bring these people that are not hanging out in Dark Souls Twitch streams at the moment or are not watching these videos. It was to bring them to
Yeah, and
lead them.
that can be done on individual basis by the other players by communicating or recommending stuff to the randoms they encounter. You understand? It's
You
not
mean
a single-sided effort.
you mean instead of waiting for the randoms to ask us, we should take the initiative to ask them, "Do you want us to fight right now?" And I will point out mistakes. Do you want us to take the initiative? Is that what you mean?
Mm, a little bit of direction. Uh, Not necessarily coaching every single last one, because that's labor intensive. But they can point them in the right direction. You understand?
Yeah, that's not what I mean. I mean, do you want us to take the initiative rather than waiting for them to ask us?
Yes, but not everyone is willing to accept that. There are good players. I'm not talking about the top tier, the very good ones, which some of them you can see fighting here. But there are casual base, unskilled, who just got into PvP. There are some skill players, but they don't master the advanced deck. And I think the second category, the good players who are slightly put off by the advanced mechanics or the healing or the fighting like an invader, as Marty's Brigade put it. Those can
That's
be actually helped to understand more the game and potentially be turned into top tier players.
Yeah, that's 2 quotes of Marty's Brigade in this stream. We'll have to be careful now. But yeah,
But he was right.
yeah, he said a lot of garbage,
But
but yeah,
to be
some of them.
honest, those are pretty obvious.
But yeah, I see what you mean. And then again, like it's
I
they're
mean,
always gonna be
you're not
helped.
going to coach a cheater, an obvious cheater,
No, that's
into
not the
that,
point.
because
That's
he's
not the
not
point.
interesting to do that. I've talked to cheaters because I'm interesting, as I said, in the mindset, and some of them were actually decent or good, and few of them uh, veered off cheating,
Yeah,
that
that's not
obvious
the point though.
cheating.
Like whether they're cheating on it, that's not the point. I'm just asking like because I said already, and Zane said it also on Twitch chat and in my Steam messages that we are willing to help players that are willing to learn. Like if they
Exactly,
come to
but
us,
how do you know they are willing to learn?
because they come towards us
Yeah,
without insulting us. That's like we mentioned that already, right? Like
yeah,
if someone comes and says like, hey, there's an example actually. There was this guy called Nemezia. I don't know if you see who that is. He's in Township quite a bit. He was in Township quite a bit. That had this terrible setup. He was like a fashion setup, but it looked like shit. It was like Lord's Blade set with a wolf ring and a CB. And I followed him in Township. He added me on Steam, and he said, "Yeah, good player, good fights, etc., etc." And I didn't ask him, but the day after or the 2 days after, he invaded a fight club that I was hosting
okay.
because he found me through DSCM. I didn't ask him, and he kept getting destroyed by Zane, like just destroyed. Like he didn't win. I think no, he didn't win a single match. Like he was getting obliterated, not only by them, by other players too. But he kept invading, and like he didn't complain a single time. He kept invading over and over again, and like the players like that, and they do not even have to be as persistent at this guy, but the players like that, they will get help. Like if they
Yeah,
ask,
yeah,
they
yeah.
will definitely get help.
I've met that type of player, but they are pretty rare.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't have to even be that persistent. Like someone that's willing to
Yeah.
that acknowledge the fact that he's gonna get destroyed because he's less experienced is gonna get help.
Ooh.
Yeah, who is a trooper? A real trooper.
That,
So yeah, like there's another player called Heppo something, a Russian guy, that joined Dark Souls 1 PvP pretty recently. I think he has like 200 hours or something.
yeah.
And he is willing to learn. Like he's never complaining about a loss. He is okay. He's pretty cocky on Twitch chats, but that's like let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about like what player he is. He's
Yeah.
always like willing to learn. He never complains about losses. And he's progressing like really fast, and like players like that, like I said, like they're gonna get help. The thing is how to, because what we were asking before, like when we started this topic, was more how to link the players that are not willing to get helped with us.
Yeah, because those who will get help are actually a minority who reach out to you.
That's why I think like trying to get them to understand how we play and that we don't use Mask of the Mothers or Giants to try to get them mad, but rather just because that's the way we play and that's like linked to a certain mentality. Like trying to do videos like that or that can showcase that
Yeah,
would be really healthy.
yeah, that would actually be really healthy. By the way, because you mentioned the mask, do you see here most of these tier players don't change the mask into Dust Crown or something else.
That's because they're lazy fucks, but trust me, in tournament settings they would do it.
So
They would do it. Also, Doc, I don't know if he healed in these matches, but if you're doing a humanity fight, it's better not to change mask, because if you heal and you don't have the mask of the mother on, you're losing 10%.
yeah.
But that's just because they're lazy. Like Zane, I don't know why he doesn't do it.
No, nobody healed here.
No, I'm not talking about the healing, I'm talking about switching masks. Wait a second, someone sent me a message on. I think a large part of that stigma is enforced by the larger Dark Souls community, Soulbruns, etc.
Yeah.
That's very true. Fucking hate them for that.
You know, most of... Oh, nice escape. Yeah, but that's more like nowadays the Mask of the Mother is more like a badge.
No, it's not. It's because it's very strong.
No. That's most of them still keep it on.
Look, Zane answered pure laziness.
Yeah, for him I know.
That's the only reason, dude. I swear. That's just because of laziness. There's no reason not to switch, because like in very rare cases, you're not safe and you cannot switch. But that happened like most matches. You're either getting backstabbed and you switch during the backstab, or you have like. Okay, go ahead, Zane. Then explain your thoughts.
No, you know, that matters here. For a random, even randoms know that's the badge for a more experienced player, you know? And most of them like that, not the randoms. Cause that instills a bit of fear. And fear tactics work.
Yeah, I can see your points, you guys. Like, it's kind of a taunt to go in taunt shivering. For example, like full wanderers with like giant gauntlets and a mask of the mother just to top it off. It's true. Yeah, it's true, Juan, but Hollow Soldier's waistcloth is also kind of a mark of the tryhards, but not as much as the mask, that's true. You can see why it's kind of a badge. Like fucking hell, my optimized arm build, the picture is a fucking mask of the mother.
Of course.
Yeah. That's another issue. Like people that say that fashion should take priority over effectiveness. I mean, sure, if you want, but just don't complain if your build is inferior to mine and I beat you. Like, it's not. Sometimes it's the reason I beat you. Like, I survived with like 9% health, and if I didn't have Mom Mask on, I would have lost. But most of the time, it doesn't matter.
To be honest, I think a year ago, when I met, when I invaded or being invaded by a evil mom or giant mom, I used to think, oh fuck. Not anymore, I've passed that. But,
yeah, same for me. Like at the very beginning, I used to like point down Mask of the Mother users when I would beat them, just because they had the mask on.
But most of the random players don't have that kind of mindset switch, or evolution, if you may, if you want.
Yeah.
And
like,
that's it's like an athlete hitting the wall. You know, you're familiar with that expression?
Can you say it again? I didn't quite get it.
An athlete, a marathon runner hitting the wall. It's
No,
a
I don't know that
point.
expression. Is it Romanian?
No. Yes, it is, but it's a point when your fatigue and I don't know how the fuck can I explain it.
Take your time. No hurry.
Yeah. Uh, it's a point when if you pass that, you're not your not metabolism. Your body practically unlocks the next level of energy and
No, yeah,
power.
I see what you mean. It's very tied to the fact that progression curve. Yeah, like if you demonstrate progression of a player or an athlete as a curve, you can see that it's never linear.
Yeah, but I meant that during one event, you know?
Oh, like the gamer's trends, for example, where they just like stop being conscious and just
Yeah.
play on their own.
And yeah,
What about
and
it?
switch to full autopilot.
Yeah, what about it?
That tends to happen with the player mindset here.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, there's some players are like that, some others are not. I think it just depends on the player. I don't really see like where you're going to with this.
That was about it's what is he trying to do? Drinking?
What is this bill? What is truth? Holy fuck! He's probably banned in your stream. A lot of people are banned in your stream, man.
No, what is true is not banned in my stream. I don't think so.
Okay. But yeah, like to get back on the why.
Yeah, it's the general player's mindset. They don't use, and most of them they don't know about advanced techniques, and when they get invaded by mom, no matter if it's Havel or Giant Mom or anyway, uh, they they not get sad, but they get frustrated even before the fight starts.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I've got a very good article
Okay.
online that talks about the scrub mentality. I'm gonna try to find some quotes real quick about that because that's a very interesting subject actually. The subject of like how some players are like frustrated even before the match starts.
What the?
Seeing
Just a second, I need to switch. What the fuck was I thinking? Chat window? Okay. You couldn't tell me about that before? To turn on the
well,
chat window.
happens.
Cause, you know, now you can post it. Cause if I export the VOD to YouTube or some other place, the chat won't be saved.
Oh damn! I didn't know about that. I don't know shit about Twitch, man. I'm sorry.
I didn't either, but I searched and
Yeah, I think it's from David Sterling. And yeah, in this article he mentions stuff like that, like people that are getting frustrated by before even the match starts, that just seeing the character they're in a fighting game, for example, the character the other guy is picking. And he has some really good points. I'm gonna link it in the chat. If you want to link it to like at the I don't know in the video if you upload that like the description or something and like put
yeah,
a
you
timestamp.
can actually, since you have the free time, you can actually post some of it in chat, because it will be saved in VOD.
Okay, I just did. But yeah, there's some examples about that. Like Scrubs are likely to label a wide variety of moves and tactics as cheap. For example, performing a throw in fighting games is often called cheap. A throw is a move that grabs an opponent and damages them even when they're defending against all other kinds of attacks. Throws exist specifically to allow you to damage opponents who block and don't attack. That's an example. For example, backstab, right? Like that could be compared to backstabs.
Yeah, copy and paste some of it in chat.
Another very interesting. Oh yeah, I can do that. Wait a sec. There's other very interesting points about that. It's not a fun way to play that way. It's not fun to play that way. It might be true, or it might not be, depending on the game. The scrub mentality is to make this claim for basically all game through, so beware of that. Some games don't hold up to high-level play. That's sloppy design, in my opinion. A solid game holds up to experts playing it as hard as they can against each other. That way, the game can be fun to beginners and experts. That doesn't apply to Dark Souls, obviously, because it's not very fun as a beginner. That's an example of design flaws. And that's not even the fault of the glitches, though. Exactly, Zane. Yeah, it's not even the fault of the glitches, though, because Melee, for example, is a very good example of a game that's full of glitches that raise the skills gap and that is accessible. Dark Souls, though, isn't. So the game is definitely flawed on that part, but it does have this very high skill cap. But yeah, like about the masculine mother, I can only like bring up the scrub mentality. Like people that get frustrated, like just because you pick that character, that OP character, and they didn't, right? You pick the masculine mother and they choose not to. So you have like a quote unquote unfair advantage over them. The thing is, they could have picked that mask, and it's not even as drastic as it is in fighting games, because in this game you build. You can have like I don't know, an infinity of completely different builds that all use the Mask of the Mother. Yes, I think Dark Souls has a pretty high skill cap. It's definitely not like super high, but it does have a high skill cap, I think. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what it makes it. What makes the game attractive to most people.
Yeah, I was answering Zane, but yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, a lot of people are disagree with that, and it's true. A lot of people say that, for example, Dark Souls 2 is the ultimate Dark Souls game, which is not true.
No, fuck no.
But yeah. It's not even that low execution. Like, it's obviously no melee or StarCraft 2, but there is execution. It's not necessarily like input heavy, but there is like a lot of option select and decision making happening in games. That's really interesting. Like standing still, for example, after you get kicked, choosing to either stand still or roll. That's execution in a way, to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not
use that
defining the word correctly though. But to get back on something, on like why our community is looked down upon and frowned upon, I'd like to get back on what someone whispered me on Steam. I think a large part of the stigma is enforced by the larger Dark Souls community. I read that already. Soulbrunt, etc. And that's actually something like that ought to be talked about, because like seeing their streams of these guys like Peeve, and seeing that he says, you play the game how you want, I don't mind ganking, I don't mind if you use a tryhard build or anything like that. Like, he says that, and then he gets
it's
into an invasion.
hypocritical, because he gets salty.
Exactly. Not salty, but not necessarily. I think he's like, he stays pretty chill. Like, he trash talks, but it's banter, right? He's not like actual trash talking, he's not serious.
That's
but
a form of salt. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not, it's okay, right? Everyone does it. I trash talk, like
Passive aggressive.
right? Yeah, like, and then he gets into this invasion, and he like says, "Oh, you're going for the backstab, huh? Oh, you're going for the back." Like it's a fucking disgrace. Like, come on, man! You can't say one thing and then like act the other way. Like, it's very true what you said,
Yeah,
Crane.
hypocrites
Zane,
do it all the time.
they played a very big part on like making it so most players would never try to get good and assume that every tryhard was just someone trying to be mean and like ruin everyone's day, which
Yeah,
is not the case at all.
just assuming every tryhard is a troll, which is not true.
Which is the opposite, actually. Yeah, like a very small part of them are, and they are not tryhards, they're trolls. So yeah, look at that RTSR scum.
I saw him.
Fucking scum, dude.
Well,
That's Duck. Obviously, that's Duck. Come on. I didn't know who that was. You know how I just talked about the scrub mentality, and now I'm complaining about the item. That's a good example of hypocrisy right there. Fuck me.
yeah, but to be
I
fair, when
exposed
he switched
myself.
to RTSR, it wouldn't matter.
Just exposed myself though. Fuck.
No problem, man. Related. By the way, Zane, if that needs to be saved besides this chat, it could be helpful to post the exact YouTube video title.
I'm watching it right now, but the music, it's a Shy Cast video, and the music is very loud compared to his talking.
By the way, Crame, have you fought Terasa?
Sorry, Terasa?
Yeah.
Yeah, piece of them. Yeah, I fought him quite a bit. What about him?
The first day I met him, he used to swap, swap Golden Tracer into Grey Club,
Yeah, that's always fun.
and efficiently during the fight. That was not annoying, but
That was probably early on though. Like he doesn't do that ever. No,
no,
in like actual duels.
no, he doesn't.
He was
But
probably just fucking around in town.
yeah, he was fucking around, but almost destroying me with with every combo that's connected.
He's now a very, very good player. It's a shame, like, and it's a shame, but it's understandable that like high latency players sometimes have a hard time like finding sparring
Yeah,
partners
but the point,
because
he was a good player, but
he
he's
still
not.
is. He still is.
He still is, but no, because I don't think he's actually playing that much anymore.
No, he doesn't play much. He played a few days ago, but he doesn't play as regularly as he does. He still did very good though. Like
Yeah.
he beat players, including me, that are playing almost every day with like pretty consistently. So, I mean, he's
Yeah,
both a talented and a very...
the point I was trying to make, some of the skilled players or very good players tend to veer off and quit Dark Souls. If that's
Yeah.
for personal reason, it's understandable. But I know at least one who couldn't, wouldn't take much trash anymore, and he was sick of it. And he
Okay, wait a
was a
sec.
very good player.
I need to say barrel roll. Okay, I said it. Now you can continue. Yeah, because that's the thing I have the most trouble to say. It's so hard for a French guy to say that.
Barrel
But
roll? Yeah, yeah.
barrel barrel roll. Barrel roll. Oh yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's
No, no, no.
probably due.
Crame, I'm willing to wait until you get good at saying it. So please.
Barrel, barrel, barrel roll, barrel, barrel roll, barrel roll. Is it better if I say this the French way? Barrel roll.
No, but it sounds more fun.
Barrel roll. It's so hard, dude. Though.
You
Come
need to
on.
borrow something?
Barrel. Barrel. It's so hard though. Barrel, roll. Gerard is so hard. The R's in English, fucking nightmare. Because in my language it's R. It's like it's simple. It's like R. It's flat
Yeah.
and good. In English, it's like R. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you need to speak the pirate language.
Barrel. It's so hard though. No, I'm not gonna try anymore. Like,
Why not?
Dude,
First five. You have to have five.
my tongue is not trained to say barrel or roll. It's
Yes,
not
I
gonna
know.
happen.
That's what makes it fun.
I can either say it that way or say it the French way, which is barrel roll, and everyone's gonna even fuck.
They're
fuck
gonna
me up,
laugh
like-
either way. It's entertaining,
Yeah,
man.
so I'm fucked either way, man. What do you want me to do? Okay. For fuck's.
Oh, Juan is using his famous build again.
Fucking bullies, dude. That's why French people like act like assholes.
Man.
in video games, because we're
Crane,
getting
please, do not surrender. Don't let the history repeat.
Yes, I'm Shadow, but I try very fucking hard for that. Like, I try really hard. Like, if I were drunk right now, it would start to speak like that, because it's way less effort for me to speak with the French accent. So yeah, like I try really hard not to have the French accent.
By the way, one issue I have, I think the French accent or French in general sounds good when the ladies are speaking it, but not so good when the men are speaking it. You know, it sounds
because-
very feminine for me.
Okay. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't really realize, right? Because I'm French, probably. So I don't know. I mean, do I sound feminine to you?
No, but if you speak French, yes, you do. Wait.
If I speak like that, I sound
Yeah.
feminine. If I speak
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah. It
okay.
sounds a
I
bit.
mean, I'm exaggerating right now, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It sounds too sweet to hear a guy speaking like that. You understand the point I'm trying to make?
I mean, sounds.
It sounds like not like exaggerate gay. You know that type?
If you didn't know I were French, what country would you say I'm from? From my accent. I mean, you know, so it's kind of
Yeah,
probably
it's
hard to say.
actually.
I mean, I can tell you're from like very far in the east area.
Yeah, extremely
You know-
far.
you know
Close
what
to
I mean?
Japan, actually.
Yeah, pretty far in the east of Europe. But
Yeah, but I'm not used to speak English that much, and that shows. The the rust is killing me. Well, not killing
I
me,
mean, it's
the
okay.
one
Like
who tries to understand me.
I understand like pretty much like 99% of what you're saying, so that's all right. That's what matters.
But practice, man. Just as
I
in
mean, yeah,
this game,
exactly.
practice. That's one reason why I'm trying to engage in conversations with other English speaking folk.
Do you still hear echo, by the way?
No.
Do you still like try talking for a bit right now?
Okay, what should I say?
Okay, did
Anything?
you?
Anything?
Yeah, did you hear echo now? Did you
No,
hear?
no, 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 I
Okay,
don't
okay,
hear any.
okay,
Oh,
good, good,
yes,
good.
there it is.
It's back. Oh fuck, man. I don't know. I don't know how to.
But it's
Let me
much weaker.
let me look online.
He actually jumped up during the backstab animation. That's interesting. Or I suppose is the latency, the newfound latency he has. Oh, god damn it. Ooh,
Uh,
this,
did you hear me?
it's fucking worse.
Oh
No,
fuck.
let me speak. Uh, have you muted your microphone?
Yeah, I mute myself when you talk. I'm trying to like fuck around with the settings right now.
Ah, have you looked into Windows? Do you have acoustic echo cancellation on?
Try talking now.
Okay. It's uh, slight one.
It's still annoying. I really have no idea what causes it.
Ah, then fuck it. For some other time.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. We're before people started fucking with me with my barrel rolls. We were talking about Solbrant, and yeah, like the community has been fucked like a long time ago, and everything that we mentioned, like the what you were talking about and the ideas we proposed and all of that shit, like is basically what we're trying to do is like repair the fucking damage that the mainstream big streamers have done, because that's what they did, like actual damage to the
That they did.
game by being hypocritical, by refusing to use mechanics, which is fine, but at the same time, they because the community just follows them like sheeps for the most part, it just led to what the not the Dark Souls one, but the general Dark Souls community is right now, which is saying that Dark Souls 2 has a higher skill cap than Dark Souls 1, which just blows my mind. And I have 500 hours on Dark Souls 2, so it's not as much as Dark Souls 1, obviously, but like enough to have an idea. I feel like, yeah, honestly, fuck these guys. Like, they have some great content, like very entertaining, and at the same time, they did so much damage to that game I love that, yeah, can't really like help but hate them.
Well, last time Yukas played Dark Souls 1, I stream sniped him. And I've noticed a difference. I killed him once, I think, and I've noticed a different reaction. It's one thing to get backstabbed 2 or 3 times and thus lose the fight, or lose it in a spectacular fashion. I think the clip it's still on my main channel page.
Did you chain backstab him 3 times in a row?
No, I didn't chain
Yep.
backstabbing. Trading, hits, jumping, that sort of stuff. And I
If you
think
did, he would have trash talked you, guaranteed.
yeah, but I've killed him the other way, in a more spectacular way, and even he couldn't trash talk that. Even he liked the way he died.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he ever encounters a build that's built around backstabs, he's gonna complain anyway, and his community is gonna say, "Welcome to Dark Souls 1. Go back to Dark Souls 2."
Yes, but there's another point I am trying to make. Losing to backstabs cause you leave yourself open more or less is not that entertaining. If you not necessarily, if you still have a chance to win, but the other one tricks you, baits you, and not backstabs you, but he manages to to what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Anyway, to go through your defense and sneak one hit in there, you can't actually feel that bad about that match.
Yeah, you mean like outplaying him another way?
Yeah,
Like,
outplaying him.
I mean,
Exactly.
backstabs can be outplaced too. Zane actually, Zane told me something pretty interesting that every time you do damage on someone, more damage than he did to you, it's an outplay, and I mean that's kind of true.
Technically, yes. That's true.
About what you said that he did, like, people don't mind getting killed by someone that's not backstabbing them, as opposed to getting mad at people that are chain backstabbing them, for example.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced that, like, the mainstream community and streamers took part in that way. They, by them shit talking and being salty about getting backstabbed and losing to that, it because they were so popular, it's like pretty fucking widespread, the fact that people get mad about getting backstabbed, and they are part of it. They're not obviously the
Yes, but
only reason.
What I'm trying to say, I somewhat understand that.
Yeah, I do too. I was like that. I used to get really mad when I got backstabbed. I used to think there wasn't any way to avoid chain backstabs, for example.
Yes,
and I was forward rolling every time I would get on wake ups, and I would get chained because I was forward rolling, and I was saying I was serious. Like,
how
I wasn't
can
joking.
I explain it better? Not necessarily trading hits, but exchanging hits and doing chipping off the other's HP. It feels that like that fight is earned, and the other one getting one hit and doing the same damage you did in 3 or 4 hits. It feels like it's not well earned. You know?
Yeah, but why does it feel like that? Also, let me answer a question. Let me not answer, but
technically, you're right.
yeah, but let me just answer Nirity that said that people hate the chain mechanic because it's too 50-50, and people hate situations like that in a lot of games, not just Dark Souls. It's not 50-50. It's way more than 50-50. There are a lot of options on Wake Up. There are both on the backstab victim and on the one that is attempting the chain. There are way more than, like, it's
even after the backstab, there's still a strategy to go for. You're right.
It's way deeper than 50-50. There are a lot of options. There are options that cover a lot of wake up options. There are options that are hard reads, where you go for like a guaranteed backstab if someone does a certain thing, but that doesn't work against any other option. It's way deeper than that. That's why, and why it's frustrating to get killed by backstab rather than get killed by...
No, it's not that entertaining, not restraining.
You think people mind it because it's not entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And
like,
most people who don't know how to wake up from the backstab or how to protect from that, it feels it renders them powerless and it accentuates the frustration.
yeah, and like I said, I get that because I used to be like that. I used to get chained. I would forward roll, and I would always forward roll. I would always get trained, and I would dare to say, while never trying anything else, I would dare to say that there was no way to escape chains. So I completely get that. Like that's something I understand. What I don't understand is that with all the content that there is now, because that was pretty old, and by all the content I mean like flashy montages from like Tan and like Zane, that are like the quote unquote flashiest videos you can find of people doing cool shit that involve backstabs. That people still have this mentality, and they probably actually don't have the mentality. They just don't care about Dark Souls 1 anymore, and it's too fucking late. Well, tough luck.
It's
But
never late.
people hate situations where they have to guess correctly in order to win. When I say 50-50, I didn't literally mean there are two options. What do you mean? Like, most skill games are about reading your opponent, especially fighting games or versus games.
No, he meant equal chances.
I don't understand. I would like him to elaborate because I still
For
completely
example,
disagree.
the wake up after you being backstabbed and the other one attempting to chain you.
Yes.
If you guess correctly how he is trying to chain you, you'll win that exchange.
Yes.
That's 50-50. He has the equal chance to chain you as you do to escape the chain.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. I literally don't see how it can be a bad thing though, and I really don't see how it doesn't apply to way like more games than just Dark Souls. Which actually no, he said that it happened not only in DAS. My bad.
Yeah, you're right,
I
Tryhard.
quote. Um, People hate situations like that in a lot of games, not just DAS. Yeah, that's very true. People hate it, but they're scrubs, to be honest. Like, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean at the actual definition of scrub. Like,
True.
they think it's cheap. They think it's like, and yeah, what Tryhard said, because the control is being taken away from them. But we already talked about that earlier.
Yeah, but
and
that
how
makes it way more interesting to fight to gain the control back. That's a challenge.
exactly how
That's a
to come back,
challenge.
how to evaluate options. How I don't know. Like reading is such a fun part of games to me. It's always been like trying to get in my opponent's head and like predict what he's gonna do and react accordingly.
That's true since the dawn of time. Since the Neolithical man picked up a club and buried it through his neighbor's head. And
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
applies here too.
Like the part about people hate that reading factor, that quote unquote 50-50. I've actually haven't heard much of people hating that. I don't know. Whenever
Because
like in a melee competition, for example, in Super Smash Bros. Melee competition, someone gets a hard read on someone else, like the whole crowd goes like, oh, and she's like, it's I don't know. I don't think people do hate that. I don't.
yes, of Shadow. That's true, and that's also why some people still play this game.
And then like how you determine if the reading part is fun or not, in my opinion, is how deep that 50-50, I'm really putting quotes on that, is how deep it is. It's the amount of options you have for reads and counterplay.
Well, crime. The issue here is not a lot of people have that chess player mentality. Of reading and
Okay, Nerity, I cannot deny that if you got like feedback from very experienced players of a game I don't play, I cannot like deny that. You're probably right. I take your word on that. But yeah, but how that's what I was saying. I started to say, it's not about putting someone in the guessing situation, is how the guessing situation works. If it's a pure 50-50, like I do that, I lose, I do that, I win, I agree that it can be frustrating. But if you have a lot of options, and in these options you have some that include good option coverage and other but low reward, and other options that include little option coverage but very high reward, I think it's healthy. For example, let's say Zane. I take Zane as an example. Let's take that and the kick example from Dark Souls 1. You get a kick on someone in Dark Souls 1. You have your Pyro Glove up, and you have 45 decks. So then, after the kick, you have several options. You can Pyro, which is guaranteed damage, and a lot of damage, because you'll take vulnerability frames. The enemy is in vulnerability frames, so he'll take more damage. So you can Pyro, which will be like, I don't know, 450 damage or something. Or you can go for a backstab. A run-up backstab, like a pivot after the kick. If the enemy stands still, you won't be able to backstab him. But you can kick again, which is another option coverage, which can backstab if he moves. And after that second kick, you can do either, the loop continues. You can either go for a combustion or go for another backstab. But if after that first kick the guy reads that you're gonna go for a backstab, he can roll away and thus annihilate the advantage you took upon him. Like, that's what I mean by like option coverage, and how like the number of options you have, whether it's on a defensive standpoint or on offensive standpoint, make the thing interesting. Obviously, there are like super guaranteed and safe options, which is the 45 dex pyro hit after a kick.
of course,
But you can also make more of that. For example, Zane, what he does is he kicks, he predicts a pivot from the opponent, and instead of going to his back when the target's kicked, he stays in front of him. Like, he fakes going for his back, and then he comes back to the front. And because the guy turned around, he gets a backstab on him. That's a very hard read. Like, it only works if the enemy does exactly what you predicted. But it's very rewarding, because then you get the backstab and you can chain and stuff like that. Then you have player like Latse, which does consistently one thing. He gets a kick on someone, he goes to his back, he kicks again. If the enemy has moved and has inputted something, he will get a backstab. If the enemy doesn't move, he'll get a kick, and he'll get a combustion off. Like, there's a lot of like decision making and like risk reward thing that work into that. I think like I cannot disagree that the guessing situation can be frustrating if it's very one-dimensional, but as long as there are depth to it, I think it's interesting.
no, I think it's more frustrating. Frustrating is it's not one-dimensional, because one-dimensional it's easy. But
I'm not explaining it only for you, Nerity. I'm explaining it for the video.
okay.
But yeah, I also see your point. Like,
That adds complexity. That
if
adds
the
more
guessing
chances
situation
for
is,
you
like,
to
very
fuck
narrow,
up.
it's not fun. That's
And not
probably
many
true,
people
because I
like
haven't
that.
played Street Fighter at all, ever. But that's probably true. Like, if you say so, that you have got, if you said that you got feedback from high-end players, that's probably true.
But anyway, getting back to the topic that started this, I don't think it's a bad thing to...
I actually couldn't hear you at all because I talked for so long that my speakers muted themselves. So my bad here.
Okay.
You can go ahead now. Sorry.
You need to watch that. The fuck was I saying? Anyway, but yeah, the topic. But getting those good players, which there's a lot of them, into...
Not that many, to be fair, but okay, go ahead.
There are good players, but if they
It
don't...
depends what you mean by good. It really depends.
Okay,
yeah.
Decent players,
Okay,
come on.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Semantics, please.
Yeah, that was shitty of me. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you get those actually not trained, well, trained a bit to understand more and use more the advanced mechanics, you'll actually increase the micro community of very skilled players, and that's a good thing in the long run. So my point is, how can we achieve that? Because if you increase that player base, you won't get these fight clubs where where most people fight 3 or 4 other people with no variations. If you add a lot more people to that player base, it gets more interesting, and most of them have the incentive, an added incentive to actually stay and keep playing.
Yeah, that's completely true, and we talked about that. We talked about, like, I think when we talked about getting the noobs interested in the tryhard community, we would also, like, by doing what we talked about, which is...
Yeah, because that's the problem.
Events,
you know, people fear what they don't understand, or what they don't know. If this would be explained a bit, that would demystify.
Yeah, yeah, that's completely true. But we already talked about that, though. We talked about what could be done, and we offered solutions, and yeah. So there's not, I think, much more to talk about in this subject. It's true that the community needs to do stuff, and people have ideas, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and every single player in the community can have an not necessarily public input to that.
We talked about that for a pretty long time near it earlier in the stream. So I'd like us not to bring that subject again, because we actually went pretty in depth with it, and I just want to repeat stuff in a VOD that's going to be fucking 3 hours long.
Yeah, that would make that would be true.
I'll help you, by the way. If you upload the video,
you mean cutting into smaller parts?
Not necessarily cutting, but you upload it as private video, and I watch it really fast and accelerate, and I would make timestamps for you. I can do that if you want, or if you're too lazy to do it.
That's fine by me.
Okay. Also, about these players, I'd like to point out that some players cannot be saved, and I would like to mention Unda Krovist, or whatever you pronounce his fucking name.
Who?
Unda, that wants to use a fucking Titanite catchpole in Zwei's tourney, and he cannot find himself. Okay.
Come on, Unda is a fun guy, but he's not taking it seriously.
I love him. But he's just so...
He's a skilled player. If he would apply it more, he would be way more efficient. But
No, obviously, no. I mean, I actually like him a lot as a player, and like he's a cool guy to hang out with. It's
yeah,
just that he's part of these players that cannot be saved. Okay, like on the Anda cannot be saved.
yeah, but he's always fun to fight.
Yes, Seneca cannot be saved. That's true.
Yeah, but he formed his style, and he's sticking to it.
Seneca has a style.
Not Seneca, no.
Oh no!
No, he cannot be saved. no,
He cannot
no
be saved.
style.
No. No, Anda, yeah, Anda is a really fun player to fight with. But I was, kind of just poking around, saying he could not be saved. Like Anda is never gonna like really go all the way try hard. He's always gonna be like in between.
But
Especially
he
when it comes
does
to
uses some of the advanced techniques.
Oh,
if
he
not
used
all.
every advanced technique.
Yeah,
It's just
he's
when it comes to
capable of.
builds. Just when it comes to builds.
I don't. He actually said to me he has 9 game saves. 9 with different characters.
I mean, that's because he doesn't have cheat engine. He's a scrub.
No, he has it. But he actually made 9 saves, and he thinks, or anyway, each individual character in each save needs to be saved for later use.
What you're saying, Nerity, people are generally jerks in our community, bullying people in chat, having bad manners in PvP, and cheating all the time. How can you expect a new player to want to get in a community like that? I think it's not true for most other players, but it's very true that because of how small our community is, the few that do that consistently just like spread this image for the whole tryhard community, when in reality they are not representative. But that's actually very true. But I don't think it's a problem with the tryhard community as a whole. It's more because of because of the fact that it's so small that everything like what one person does seems to represent everyone.
Generalization. But in communities, there always the black sheeps. The worst of them are getting to be a representative to people outside those communities, to be considered a representative of the whole micro community. The worst of them, the worst trolls that get a high of trolling randoms or stomping or getting sold from randoms. Randoms will consider them as being a representative of the whole tryhard micro community. And that's a bad thing, but it happens.
Yeah, it's true, but it's also true that
and that's why the tryhard community has a bad name, a bad rep.
Because it's so easy to like. There's also the fact that we go so rarely in like township and forest, like we fight among ourselves, that when one of these
it's a closed space.
And when one of these mini gets to township or forest, it's obviously like more noticeable because we never go there.
It stands out. Let me answer why.
In Twitch chat is pretty true, Nerity. In game it's different. Like I said, we mentioned that earlier. And it's probably true that like if tryhards want to see their game expand, they need to take more initiative instead of just waiting for willing players to come at them.
By the way, it's tryhard. I don't think I'll join the tournament for a couple of reasons. One, I'm too used to playing 60 FPS, cause it looks more natural to me, and that wouldn't be fair to other players. And if I switch to 30 FPS, I would be playing uncompetitive most of the time. Not most of the time, but a third of the time I would be uncompetitive, and that's not working in a tournament. That defeats the purpose.
Nearity, are you talking about in-game? Or, I'm gonna read what you just said. It's not a few, sorry to say. I love this community and I like most of you guys, but most of you have some very bad attitudes towards new players. You should see how people treat new players in Street Fighter community. It's a completely different experience to get into that game. Do you mean like actually in-game? Because in this case, we do not have actually much interaction with new players at all. So I'm guessing you're talking about Twitch chat interactions and stuff. More than in-game.
Even in-game, but not during the fights, but post-fights. After the fights. The fuck, I'm He's being a dick. Anyway. I've had some people added me, I added some people, and recommended the YouTube playlist with techniques for them to understand. A lot of them thanked me for that.
Nearity, that's very true. And like I said, we mentioned that earlier in the conversation. There's also the fact that whenever a quote-unquote random comes to a tryhard, like on his own initiative, it's very rarely going to be to ask for advice. It's more often going to be to insult him, trash talk him, and criticize the mechanic he used. So although there is problems with the try, but like I said, we mentioned that like earlier in the conversation, so you can check that out when Casual uploads it. But the quote-unquote casual community also doesn't receive well our way of playing at all. So it's like it needs to go both ways.
Yeah, Crane, that's why I said individual interaction is more important. Because as you correctly put it, when they come into Twitch stream is to bash and to relieve some of their frustration, to trash talk. They're prepared for that. But on individual encounters, as I said, recommending that Dark Souls Advanced Tech playlist. I know there's one, and I've given them. On individual interaction, maybe the salt can be removed to some extent, and they'd be more open to look at that. You understand? But when they come into Twitch streams, especially if there will be in PvP streams there will be the tryhard micro community.
Yeah, the reception of
but when they come, they willingly know they come into the wolves den. You understand? And they're prepared to fight, not to receive advice.
It's true that Twitch chats have been pretty hostile, especially lately. About in-game, Nearity said, here is what experienced players do in-game. They cheat by modding their game and using cheat scripts. They heal in... We talked about that, and I said that it was our bad and that it was actually an issue.
Yeah.
They heal in duel situations where they are about to lose. They do degrading gestures that win a lot of games, and they talk down to people. I cannot disagree about talking down to people. It may happen, like from some tryhards. I try not to do it, but I have done it in the past, and I might do it in the future. But that's a problem for sure. When it comes to healing and do degrading gestures, healing, I don't know. To me, it's not a problem in random invasions. If you come to a fight club, people won't heal. If you fight us, and by us I mean tryhards in township, and we heal, it's because it's random fights and healing is allowed in my book. And doing degrading gestures, if you take a point down the wrong way, in this video game, it's not that you have a problem with the game. You probably have a problem with like self-esteem or something, because it's just a gesture in a game. It's like taking a well, what is it, the wrong way. Like, come on. But about the other issues, being the scripts against randoms, that is an issue. That's true. And talking down to people in Twitch chats, that happens. That's undeniable, and that is an issue too.
Night Artorias, of course.